was very nice. Yes. I saw you coming down College Street this time. Were you out and about this morning?
I won my car yesterday.
Oh, very good. Gotcha. Good for you. Rodney?
Please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Our gracious Father in heaven, it is our great pleasure this morning to acknowledge, along with the leaders of the government of our nation, for the history of our nation, acknowledging that you are God and that you are the one who has protected us as a people. You are the one who has led and guided us and provided for our needs. And Father, it's on that note then, coming off of a Thanksgiving weekend, that we acknowledge once again that all of our blessings and good gifts come from you. Thank you for the blessings that you have poured out upon us as a people in this county. And Father, thank you even now for the moisture that is coming down, how much we need that. And so, Father, how good you have been to us, and we are so grateful to you for your many blessings. Father, it's our prayer for the people of our county, that our hearts would be turned to you, that there would be family harmony among fathers and sons and mothers and daughters and brothers and sisters and grandparents and aunts and uncles. And that, Father, that there would be good things happening in the lives of our people, that there would be a turning away from foolishness and disobedience to wisdom and justice. And so, Father, it's our prayer then for these commissioners that the items before them, the decisions that need to be made, Father, would be made in such a way, would be discussed in such a way that it would further that agenda. Father, hopefully, in all of these things, that you would be honored and glorified. So, Father, now we pray your blessings upon this time together, upon these men who serve our county so faithfully. May your blessings be upon their families as well. And we ask for all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, by the way, forgive me for missing last meeting. I was on to pray, and as I was telling Deb, I just completely missed my announcement to you, or my reminder to do that. So, but thanks for getting a chance to be with you guys.
Have you been? Yeah, take care.
Minutes of November 30th, Board of County Commissioners meeting.
special minutes, or
I think that was it, wasn't it?
it's just a one-page?
Maybe it was this one. Yeah,
Yes.
I give you the wrong one. I don't know that we have, because that's when we had our discussion.
My question was, I don't know that we'd ever really discussed re-signing the contract, otherwise I wouldn't have followed up with Blue Cross at a that late day.
Re-signing it?
I think we got to the conclusion we didn't have any choice, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, we didn't notice, I didn't know it was signed before. Do you guys have any questions on the warrants? Rodney, do you have any questions on the warrants?
On the warrants?
Warrants, yeah.
No, no questions. Make a motion that we approve the warrants.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And I had, the only thing I had on the minutes was the official, the unofficial November 20th. I just don't, it says the administrative agreement, the freedom of claims was signed.
Okay, which sentence are you on? Okay.
Yeah, with freedom claims was signed by the county clerk after the approval of the Board of Commissioners.
That was last year's.
That was last year.
That was last
That was
year's.
at the last meeting, I take it then, after, was
Yeah.
that this
Yeah.
meeting?
No, last year's meeting.
Oh,
When we went with Freedom Claims a year ago,
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
that's what that's
Okay.
talking
Yeah.
All
about.
right, then I don't have any problems with the minutes either.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of November 16th, and can I lump both?
Yes.
And the minutes of November 20th as written?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Okay, both of those are on the back side.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, up there. And then there's payroll. And accounts payable. The water register.
let me look through the payroll.
They get that fixed. The auditors get that fixed.
Yeah. I knew we were gonna have a problem there, that's why I told you guys at the November 20th meeting that I had already started dialogue with the auditors. And he concurred with my analysis, so that's how we fix it.
And I just wanted to touch base with the board on the use of the credit card. In moving forward, we need to know how many cards you guys would like to issue. And some stipulations on the card, a dollar amount. Do you want to set a maximum amount in there? Just some guidelines as moving forward. Because our next step is to go down to the bank and actually get an application and get it filled out. And, yeah.
Morning. Good morning, Charlie.
So, and just, and I don't know if I put one of those in your packet or not, questions. We were thinking probably 2 cards would be sufficient. That way, if we have different employees traveling at different times, they can be checked out. Probably not used for fuel because we reimburse fuel mileage, or mileage not paying for the actual fuel costs. Probably pretty much limited to lodging and meals. And sometimes departments have to renew a subscription online, which a credit card would be nice to use. Those would probably be the most important things. Other than that, most things can be ran through an invoice. Purchases by departments can be made by an invoice and ran through a claim voucher.
You guys think?
2 cards.
2 cards.
And then a dollar limit, what? No, not more than 500?
It's a monthly limit. Can you set it daily?
Oh, a monthly limit on a card.
Yeah, 500 if you have 2 employees traveling and you have
It would
hotel
be higher
costs.
than that, couldn't it?
500 probably isn't going to be enough. I would say maybe 2,000. and if it needs to be adjusted, if we have a higher usage on cards. The other thing was, it would be nice if we would have the receipt when the employee returned the card, when they returned,
Absolutely.
that receipt
Then you can match that up with the credit card statement when it comes in,
comes in
and then.
right away. And we'll have a sign-up sheet. They can sign for the card, they can take it out, we'll know who has the card out, and they'll sign it back in, kind of like we do the keys for the courthouse. Is that,
Okay, we've already had a motion to do this, but this is just admin work, right?
right?
2,000 agreeable?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do 2 and 2. Fran, did you have anything?
Yeah. Are we caught up? Are you at 8:15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole was going to be here. She's going to be taking over here pretty quick. Deb, can you get her name tag?
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
will.
It's Nicole, just Nicole, Nicole, and the last name's Romine, Romine.
Okay,
And so with the weather being bad, I'll kind of email you on what the payment schedule will be for December. But my last day with the county will be December 31st.
okay, not, because your resignation letters.
The 15th, but she's got, I'll talk to you about a piece of paper that I have.
Okay,
It's an order of appointment that you can put in whatever date on.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
And then maybe some other.
Something I didn't get on that, we have the script money ready
Okay.
for distribution, and I didn't know how you guys, if you wanted to hand them out today, or we are going to have a Christmas potluck here in the commissioner room on December the 9th, and employees and their spouses are invited. It's going to be a potato bar. If you wanted to hand them out at that time, or what your wishes are. I mean, they're ready to go, and they're divided out by department.
That'd be
And
neat, wouldn't it? To do it that way.
Yes, what day is it?
December the 9th is a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, is a Wednesday. So our potlucks are usually come and go, like from 11:30 to 1. So because,
Be here. It's up to you guys if you want to hand them out, because I'll be good.
I could be here.
either.
Yeah.
Had a doctor's
Huh?
appointment. I had a doctor's appointment, but it's, I can be here
I can come in. It don't bother me.
either.
Okay.
December 9th?
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Between, what, 11:30 and,
Yeah, just come for lunch, and then we'll give them to you, and you can take them around and give them to the departments and wish them a Merry Christmas. Okay, that makes some more. That was the representation letter that needs to be signed before they can complete the audit. And there's 2 letters. I had sent these to Coran, and he had looked them over and said they were fine. But before they can do a final draft, they had a discussion draft that they presented
I've looked that over.
last month. And so, before the final draft can go, they need to have that
And
letter.
you've read these, Fran, or seen?
Yeah.
And I'll get Dolores' signature on that. Okay. And then Julie Yarmer had sent me the 2016 papers to be signed for health insurance for next year. And here is the administrative agreement. It's basically the same thing that was signed a year ago. And an business associate agreement. And I think the signature page is on the back. I need to send these off to her, and she will countersign them and then get me back. And this is just a broker request form for Strother Insurance Agency to serve as our broker that needs signatures.
You guys want to through these?
I might mention also, last year, Julie Yarmer and Alicia Strother and Brian Strother came here and gave employee meetings on the health insurance, and they have scheduled December the 17th. They're going to have two. The early one will be at 7:30. That's mostly for the road and bridge guys that need to come in and get back out. And then after they get that presentation done, they'll repeat it for anybody else that missed the early session. But basically, they'll just go through our insurance. They'll explain it. They'll have a packet put together for every employee specific to their insurance. Employees can come in here, listen, and ask any questions of the insurance agents that they might have. New employees that are just going on the health insurance, their insurance cards will be in that packet at that time.
So I'll have Nicole email you her information. She'll be here Wednesday, we'll just come in.
Okay,
I'll bring her around.
okay,
Okay, let's do that.
okay, that would be good.
Okay.
That way I can get her paperwork
Yeah.
sent in and she'll be ready to go too.
If you're around.
Will we be swearing her in, or will you be swearing her in?
She does, yeah, Deb does.
What, December 15th at the end of this meeting? Or will?
Well, probably the 31st if that's gonna change.
The second is county attorney, and she's gonna appoint me as assistant till the end of the month. So I'm on call if she's got questions or anything. See what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Oh,
So we can come in Wednesday, you can swear her in, and then she's gonna appoint me as the assistant to end December 31st.
oh,
See what I'm
okay.
saying?
Okay.
Because that way, all the cases that are sort of transitioning, you know, if she's got a question or an email or whatever, if I need to look at something, I'm still here for that time.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Does that make sense
Yeah,
to you guys?
yeah.
Okay.
I will get the paperwork ready to do that. And you said on Wednesday?
Yeah, the second, that's Wednesday, correct? Yeah, Wednesday.
Yes.
Opening day of deer season.
Wednesday?
Yeah, the second.
I know where I'm gonna be.
Does Joni have a termination date?
It would be the same as mine.
Just
So second.
the
Well,
second.
yeah, let's do the second.
Okay.
Well, I didn't care much for that part. I pretty bad. I don't know if there's a lot we can do about it, but I didn't care much for that part.
What part's that at?
The part where they can jack up their administrative fee anytime they want. Did you see that?
Well, that's the contract from last year, I've seen it, yeah. And I'm guessing every clause in
Well,
that
I
contract
figured
is
everybody
standard.
probably would have the same thing.
That's right.
But it's held a long ways from what I'd like to see. It's not in our favor.
So people that are watching the videos, you guys need to be complacent on this. This whispering that we do back and forth, that's really not, that's gotta stop. Because I've had people say, what are the commissioners saying? And if I can't hear it, that means they can't hear it.
Sometimes that's all we got.
Is it on?
Oh, people have been watching it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a success.
Those are the wage agreements that you guys have already agreed upon. I typed them up and gave them back to the departments for their signature, and now they just need your signature. And those agreements were effective for November. So the payroll warrants that you signed, those have already taken effect. We just need your signature.
Okay, do we need to sign these then?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You've seen, do you want to look these
No, those are the
agreements?
same contracts
Yeah.
from last year. Where your boys at, Eddie? Weather's bad, man. Yeah, the dirt roads are slick at least. I was in the ditch for a couple minutes.
Just practicing.
Just, yeah, I took a turn a little fast right by my house, you know.
Didn't realize it.
Make sure the 4x4 works.
I understand.
Hello.
Good morning. Did you guys slip slide in also?
Not too bad.
We were just talking about that.
Where'd you guys come from? I always forget. Topeka, right? Yeah. Okay. How's Justin doing?
He's doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep him busy.
What do you want to do since they're here? Do you
We're
want to let
gonna,
them go?
yeah, we're gonna let him go, but we need to get those freedoms claims signed. So what you guys okay with that?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
okay with that. So you gotta sign that and,
Could we get a motion on those,
The broker request.
the agreements, the health insurance agreements for
Ah.
next year?
I'll make a motion that we accept the Freedom Claims, what is that called?
There's an administrative agreement,
Administrative agreement
the business associate agreement,
and the business association
and a broker.
and brokerage agreement, okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
John, will you pass that? Right.
It's you for the paper, right? About me leaving in the paper.
Mandy's supposed to be writing the story, I told her to.
Where?
She made the call on you. You gonna be
That's
there?
fine, you give her my stuff.
I did not have a chance to touch base with Tom Keller with the holiday and everything. I thought they were gonna be here, but
Just take that budget in while we got the chance.
Yeah. Come on up, guys.
You wanna do this now?
Oh, let's get going first.
Get one, okay.
Because it looks like we're gonna have time.
Good morning.
Where do I start at? We have emailed to Deb the renewal premiums for 2016. I have an extra copy. I have it up for everybody. Yep, she has it. I'll give you what the renewal premium is. I just wanted to remind everybody the times we've been out here, I come out and did CEVO class, which is coaching emergency vehicle operators, early in the year, and Reed helped me do that, and I got Reed approved, so Reed can teach the classes himself under my instructor number through the National Safety Council. Our claims people, both claims people, Jess and Amanda have both been out and done a little orientation for the department heads. We've been out and done it, and Brandon's been out and done several inspections, and he did an early orientation for members, plus a couple inspections. And I've been out, this is the third time for me personally. If you remember right, I was out here in June and did a presentation for the board just to show you where the pool was at and how you guys were doing in the pool.
What was the premium last year? Is the number about the same, or did it go up?
I don't have it with me.
I don't.
It should have gone down just a little bit because the rates went down a little bit. Overall, Kansas Insurance Department rates went down. And your standing with the K-Work pool is just about the same, so it should have been a little lower.
Now,
Very competitive. Competitive all the way across the state.
is our museum and that historical church covered under this?
If you have employees there or volunteers that work out of that location, yes.
We have
We do.
volunteers that work out
Most
of the
definitely.
museum.
Volunteers are automatically picked up under the K-Work policy.
Would that have to be identified in here?
Yes, you should keep track of hours, and they would be under clerical employees.
We don't pay them. They're,
Yeah, but you should keep.
They're
supposed to keep
volunteers.
track of hours.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should keep track of hours on them.
So,
In fact, the auditor will ask you if there's any volunteers and the number of hours worked.
so we can take care of that ourselves and get with you once we identify it.
Yeah, the auditor will do that.
All right. Yeah, I immediately picked up on that when I saw that you had volunteer firefighters. I was thinking, what about our volunteers at the
When you
museum?
join the pool, we automatically put in 2 different forms. One's for regular volunteers and one for public service. So if you had a judge had assigned somebody to do public service for you guys, they'd automatically be picked up too.
I didn't know that.
How many counties are in the pool right now?
There's 71, and there's 11 other entities. There's a couple county hospitals. There's the MTA, Metropolitan Airport Authority, the recycling center down at Colby's in it. County operated. Got a couple, even a couple water districts now. That's something we're looking for, but they came to us and we wanted a place to go, so we took them.
Do the bigger counties tend not to be in the pool, like
No,
Douglas,
we go
Warren,
from one extreme
to the other, huh?
Miami County's in,
Right.
Lyon County's in, Saline County's in,
Absolutely.
Reno County. I mean, we.
Yeah, so you have some of the bigger
Yeah,
counties, yeah.
and all the way to, from you guys clear down here to Cherokee down the other corner. think up in this corner, I think it's only. That's the only 3 counties that are not in the pool on this corner.
Yeah. Logan, Graham, and Rooks, huh?
And we're bidding Logan next week.
Thank you.
This is no different than what you guys do. We're run by Board of Trustees. You're welcome to come to the meetings anytime, it's open public meetings. And there's, I think I gave you a copy. We do have a new member coming on, a new trustee coming on from Miami County, Rob Roberts. I don't know if you know Rob or not, but Rob's been around a long time. He's a commissioner over there. And one of the things we've always done, and then we've written the bylaws, we've always had a trustee from each one of the 6 road districts. So your local meetings that you go to, you've always got one of the trustees that you can talk to. Stan McAvoy over at Decatur's the trustee from here.
So hypothetically speaking, I won't be here next year, but next year, if the board, whoever's on it or wherever we're at, wanted to reopen the bid process with you guys, what's sufficient notice, and when do you want to receive that?
60 days
Yeah.
prior to January 1.
In writing.
In writing.
That's right.
And Dorothy will even take an email.
Okay. Very
If
good.
Deb wanted an email or something and said, yeah, we're taking bids this year.
Okay.
As long as we got it in some kind of a form like that.
And just like last year, without the 60-day notice, it automatically renews.
Automatically renews.
So probably the way to handle it is, sometime in September, that's typically when we hear from.
Yeah,
companies.
right,
They'll say,
right.
hey, we want to get bids this year, and bids are due maybe October 15th, something like that. And then it gives you 2 weeks to evaluate those and make a decision.
Well, the other entity's local, so, I mean, if they want to take bids, you gotta take bids.
We've had counties take bids on a regular basis. We've had counties that haven't taken bids since they joined the pool.
Yeah.
They've been happy with the pool. We've always been competitive and stable as far as pricing goes, and they didn't see a need to go ahead and take bids.
That's right, that's right.
So totally up
And
to you.
I'm not saying that's gonna happen, I'm just
Yeah.
making
For
sure we all
transparency
understand.
reasons, it could happen, so.
Any other questions on work comp? And Steve's got some information for you.
No, I had a legal issue come up, it didn't fit under the actual policy, but working with Justin, whether or not I knew him, it was easy to contact and figure out what was going on. It was more of a tort-based claim.
Probably a contract.
Contract, yeah,
Yeah.
I said that wrong.
Yeah, and so Justin's in our office, he's in-house, an in-house attorney that is available to our members, and then we also have attorney assist, which is through Folston Sifkin out of Wichita.
That's right, yeah.
And, department heads can call them anytime they need, as many hours as they need. It could be on employment matters, non-tort matters like
Right,
that.
yeah. Yeah, it's
so you have
contractual, not tort, that's right.
Yeah, so you have both resources available to you.
And we had Glenn Denning do it, but still, him and Justin seem to know each other really well, and so
Yeah.
that was, Justin kind of kept tabs on it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we work with Alan, the great Ben,
yeah.
and he does really good work on our tort defense.
Yeah.
You ready for the property liability? Yeah, I'm gonna hold your copy while
Okay.
go. I'll email you.
Don't worry.
On the left side, you'll see just some slides on some of the program enhancements we brought to you when you moved from commercial coverage to K-Camp. By joining the pool, you increased your per occurrence limits on your non-Kansas Tort Claims Act coverage. So your liability is capped right by the Kansas Tort Claims Act at $500,000 per occurrence, but you could have claims that fall outside that protection. Law enforcement claims, for example, might be brought under federal law, or employment claims might be brought under federal law. And we increased your limits to $3 million. You removed annual aggregates that you had in place in your prior program. And then we significantly reduced your deductibles, as you can see there, on your property, on the property program as well as on the liability program. And then we added, all the additional services, attorney assist being one of them. I list some of those on the next slide. And all of that at a premium savings to the county. One of the things I do want to mention is we have a risk avoidance grant. Every year the county's entitled to $2,000. It's just a quick one-page application. It's any kind of purchase you want to make. It could be for training, but it's oftentimes capital equipment purchases. It might be guards for vehicles, it might be cameras for sheriff. And they just submit the application with the evidence of purchase, and then we reimburse up to $2,000. And so you haven't used that for 2015, so you can use that. You could actually submit an application in December and another one in January and get $4,000.
Well, there were a couple department heads that had talked about it, but I guess nobody, we'll have to let them know.
Yeah, we came out and did a road and bridge training.
Road and Bridge was one of them.
Yeah, in August, and Jess, our property adjuster, talked with the road and bridge supervisor, and he had, I guess they had talked with the sheriff, and the sheriff had decided
That was
to
the other
use
department,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so, but we haven't gotten that, so I just wanted to.
Okay, well, I'll
bring that to your
put a
attention.
note here to council about that.
It's your money, it's how we look at it, so we want to make sure you're taking full advantage. So we did do the road and bridge training, did a new member orientation back in January, and then we had 5 calls during the years related to personnel and personal policy matters that went to attorney assist. We don't track, I can tell you kind of generally what those calls were about, but we don't know what number of hours or, and the reason for that, we segregate it because we don't want you to feel like you're reporting a claim. You're free to call them and not have to worry about what's the insurer going to say about it. We don't really know. We know that the call was made, we know the general topic, and that's all we know. Okay, so for your renewal, your rates, this is kind of how insurance works. Your rates actually went down, but your premium went up a little bit. And the reason for that is because your values changed. So if we take the property, for example, that premium for the renewal is $16,082. Get my cheat sheet out here. Your contents values are what changed mostly. And then also your, well, we'll get to this, but your contents values increased and your building values increased somewhat. So we had a 4.7% increase in building values, 85% increase in contents. And then looking at your contractor's equipment, to see the revised premium there, and again we had significant increases in the reported values on your contractor's equipment. Looks like it was a 23% increase in values. Your auto physical damage, you added 5 vehicles to your schedule from last year to this. And then on the general liability, that premium actually went down because of your experience. Public officials, law enforcement liability, I think, was unchanged. Your public officials liability increased, and I think that's a reflection of your increase in total expenditures that you reported to us. Cyber liability is essentially not charged for; it's included in your liability premium. And your crime premium increased slightly due to an increase in the number of reported employees. So if you look on the last slide, you'll see your total premium there. I'm sorry, second to last slide. It has it by line of coverage and then your total of $71,391. Your total pricing then increased 3%. So even though you had substantial increases in contents, you had substantial increases in your contractor's equipment, significant increases in your total expenditures. All your exposures increased pretty significantly, certainly more than 3%, but your total premiums only increased 3%. Your program deductibles will remain unchanged.
Okay.
Liability limits will be the same in 2016. Crime limits will be the same. The only adjustment really is your blanket limit to your property increases because of the reported increase to your exposure. So you'll see your blanket limit back there on slide 2.
I think we totaled a vehicle last year, sheriff's office.
You did.
Expedition, yeah.
And actually, I do
Here.
have a check for you today on that one. This is for, we're actually, well, I'm sorry, I have a check for you on a different one. You also rolled a tractor this last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually, this is a check so that the department could go ahead and order the parts for that.
Very good.
That's for 174416. We also had, sheriff vehicle deer hit.
Yeah.
We had another sheriff vehicle that had hail damage. And then we had hail damage to a number of buildings, to the senior center buildings, camera system at EMS, the church roof, museum roof, and some damage to the courthouse. So.
I have a question for you on insurance here. We have a county hospital appointed board. They have one employee, which is the hospital administrator. Would the board and the employee fall under this insurance program?
Not for liability, no. Yeah.
I know they take out liability themselves, but I was curious when I was looking through this, just to actually how that would work.
Yeah, we exclude liability for that reason. Our county hospitals will purchase their own, what I would call hospital professional liability, which covers the general liability exposure as well as the E&O and the board for liability.
The church is on this policy, correct?
For property?
Yes.
No, it was covered.
Okay.
When all these claims come in, you're going to cut us one check, is that correct?
Yeah.
For all of it?
Right, yeah. I think we're waiting on estimates for a lot of it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And I think we have a little bit in total.
What about that antenna for emergency management?
It's also covered.
That's also
Is that
covered.
covered?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we got the bill for that.
Yeah, we
Okay.
paid that today.
Today.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So yeah, that'll,
Hale just handled that antenna.
yeah, that is covered.
Okay. Good program. I did note that you had a footnote here on employee benefits liability retroactive to January 1, 1994.
Correct.
I wasn't aware of that in your program. Is that new or
No.
that has been there?
Yeah, that's been there. When we took over the program back on January 1/15, that's what we call a claims made coverage. And it was claims made on your old program. So there's two ways to write coverage on liability. One is what we call occurrence-based, and the other is claims made. And the difference is you're trying to figure out which policy governs the loss. So with occurrence-based, you say, well, when did the loss occur? If it was 3 years ago, then it's the policy from 3 years ago that governs. If it's claims made, it's typically the policy that's currently in force. So the problem is, you know, if you switch to K-Camp and you've got this new policy, K-Camp didn't have a retroactive date, the claim, you forgot to enroll somebody in an employee benefits program and you were negligent in that regard, and you had a loss. Which policy governs? Well, the old one's claims made, they're going to say, well, we've expired. And K-Camp would be saying, well, we picked up January 1/15. So what we do is we pick up your old retroactive date, which goes back to when you first put your claims made coverage in place, which is that date. And that way there's no gap in coverage. That's the purpose of the retroactive date. To ensure you have continuous coverage.
Is there a premium notice in there also?
And by the way, I think we have that on the public officials liability as well.
Is there a premium notice on the K-Camp side of it? This is a camera side.
Yeah, it's in this one.
Okay.
I'll just do that. And, you know, the other advantage of the K-Camp program, and I did put that in the footnotes as well, is that, you know, when you add equipment or vehicles mid-year, we don't charge you a mid-year premium. We don't have Deb have to go back and complete an audit form and figure out when you added it, how much more premium we're gonna collect. There's no charge for that mid-year change. We just pick it up in the next year.
Do you guys have any more questions?
No, I don't.
Okay?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good. Thanks for your time. You bet.
See if Travis will come back.
Thanks.
When, where are you guys headed next?
Oh, just heading back.
Oh,
I've seen you around a few meetings.
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you, Tom.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Thanks, Ron. Okay, you want to go?
Mr. Keller's still not here.
Is Tom coming?
For the senior living.
As far as I know, I haven't talked to him recently.
Okay.
Do you want me to have Shirley call him or something, or?
Yeah. Here is the budget amendment that Rodney was talking about. To republish the budget, we need to put a notice of hearing in the budget, and then mid-December, we need to hold a budget hearing to amend that. So,
The paper has to publish this
Yeah.
document here.
Right, the paper has to publish the notice of hearing, and I'll give that to you, Karen. And then at the budget hearing, then the certificate needs to be signed by the board amending the budget.